Hello, this is a code along for the ClockworkPI Pico Calc. Back in the mid-80s, late 90s, you go to buy magazines and textbooks which would have basically code to write out on your Commodore 64 to help you learn how to code. And this is the same sort of concept but brought to the modern age with our modern variant of a Commodore 64, the Pico Calc we have here. So the idea is we're going to sit down, we're going to write a few commands on it and talk through them as we go. So let's get going. First thing we're going to do is we're going to type the word edit. And this is going to bring up a basic text editor, and on there we're going to write 10 space print hello. Print, open quotes, hello world, close quotes, 20, go to 10. I'll give you just a moment to pause and think about what you think this program is going to do. So line 1, we have the word, we have 10. Then have a command, print hello world. This will print hello world to the screen. And then we have 20, go to 10. Now, the go to is a control. So it controls what the computer program is going to do next. In this case, go to 10 means go to line numbered 10, which in our case is that first line here. Let's press F2 along the top, and that will run the program. And well, there we have it, printing hello world over and over and over again. Or if we want to stop a program because it's got into an infinite loop like this one has, we can press the shift button down here and the escape button to run break. That will end our application. We type edit again. There we have our program. So let's exit out of here, the F1. On this command line we can write list and it will show us the program that we're about to run. And if we want to save this program to disk, we can type save, open quotes, and then when we want to save it. So the B drive is our SD card. Then we'll give it a name, hello world, close quotes, and there it's saved it. So we want to see what files are on our SD drive. We can go Files, space, open quotes, B colon, and that has listed our files. So at the moment we only have our one file, which is helloworld.bas. The Pico Calc will automatically add .bas to the end of your files, and that stands for basic. So let's start a new program. To start a new program, we write the word new. And we're going to write the word edit again to open up the editor. New has cleared out everything that was already in memory on the PicoPI, and we can start writing a completely new program. Now, the line numbers we saw, the 10 and the 20, they're kind of a relic of a bygone age, and we don't really need those anymore. So this time we're going to write it without that. And the way that we did the loop last time was we used the goto, which jumped us to a particular location. But that's also, well, a relic of a bygone age. We don't generally do loops that way anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to loop round 10 times. So we go for x equals 1, 2, 10. Enter. Next. X. Everything that happens between that for loop, that for and that next, that will happen 10 times. And we're going to do a print x. So we saw print in our last program, that just printed out the value. So what do you, pause the video for a moment and just think, what do you think this program will do? So let's go for it. The 4 means it'll do the following things 10 times, and that x is called a variable. Variables basically store a little bit of data that your program will use, so you don't have to hard code that value, and you can manipulate the value as you need to. So, and that x will equal 1, and I'll run through this loop. Then it'll equal 2, and I'll run through this loop. And so forth, right the way up to 10. And each time we will print it out. So let's run it. Okay, so we've now got that. We've got it printed out, the numbers 1 to 10. Let's edit it again. Let's try to use this in a useful way. Now, something that's quite useful is a times table help sheet. So let's write a times table help sheet. So what we're going to need is a multiplier. We're going to call this value y. I want to know my 9 times table. And in here, we're going to write x space times, write that, times x times y, and y is that other variable we put at the top. Y equals, then we need to work out what x times y equals. So we've got 2 variables, x and y, and they're both numbers. So we go x, and we'll use a little star symbol for times y. And let's run this. There we are, a little cheat sheet for helping with your times table, showing you the 1 times 9 is 9, all the way up to 10 times 9 is 90. Before we go out any further, I want you to stop and think, if you're in the UK, you probably don't learn your 1 to 10 times table, you probably learn your 1 to 12. So what do we need to do to change this? Edit that back up to be up to 12. So all we need to do is just change that 10 to be a 12. And there we go, our 12 times 9 table, or 9 times table up to 12. Let's edit it again. And let's say we want to know our 5 times table, probably the most complicated times table there is. We change that y to a 5, and now we have our 5 times table. So let's save this before we go on. Again, we type save, b, colon, times table, close quotes. And again, we do a files B. You can see our file existing there. Now, if we want to go back to our hello world example, what we can type is the word load, B, colon, dash, hello, world. And then we type the word edit, and we're back to that hello world application. Now we can take a look at files. You see both our existing files are there. And if we want to load up, let's clear the screen, just reset everything for a moment. And And let's load up our times table program that we were writing a moment ago. And let's continue editing that. Oops, helps if I type all the letters. We can type list, and that will show you the program that's currently in memory without loading it for editing. So there we go. And now we type edit, we can open it up to edit it. What would be useful, I think, as a program for helping times table, learning your times table, would be rather than having to edit your program each time to change that y, what you're multiplying by, and instead have the user take it as input. So we write that number down and then press enter and then see that times table. So what we're going to write is a line input, oops, input, enter, number, colon, space, end quotes. And then we're going to write d colon. D is, again, it's a variable, just like y is. Now, in BASIC, variables can be different types. And the two types we have in play here is numbers, which is what the y is, and string, which is what the $D is. In BASIC, the type of the variable, string or number, is determined by the name of the number. So the number ends in a $, it's a string, and if the name doesn't end in a $, it's a number. To do our times table, we obviously need numbers, not strings. So there is a function, a little bit of code that BASIC provides for you that will turn a string into a number. And that bit of code is called val. So we go write val, open brackets, $D, close brackets. And that will turn that number into a string. So we press the F2 to run our program. Let's enter a number, and we want to know our 100 times table. We enter 100. And there we have it. And if we type run, or press F2, we can run the same program again. This time I want to know my 911 times table. And there it is. You might have noticed that the first line is in the wrong place. So let's edit our program and just finish that off. Edit. What we're going to want to do is just add simple print here. And this will just print a new line. So we press our F2 button now. Enter a number, 115. We've now got that nice clean line between the start of our times table and the entering of the number. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye bye.